So let's talk about how we can use group policy management to set firewall settings on a bunch of machines in our network simultaneously. So I'm on my domain controller here, and I am going to go to Tools and find Group Policy Management right there. I cannot alphabetize. And expand this. And remember, we can set, let me blow this up, we can set group policies at a domain level or at an OU level. Now, in this case, I want these settings to apply to everything in my domain, so I'm going to do it at the domain level. Now, in this particular example, the settings that I am using are to prepare for the SMS, the storage migration. And so those are the settings that I'm going to use in this example. But this process will actually work for any firewall settings that you want to enable. So I'm going to right click on my Bassett 301.local and I'm going to say create a GPO in this domain and link it here. I could also come down here and create it in my group policy objects and then link it later. I could add it to my default domain policy, but as you've probably heard, I don't like adding a whole bunch of different unrelated settings in one GPO. It makes more sense to me if I separate them out into multiple GPOs and give them descriptive names, and it's easier for me to find what I want. So I'm going to create a GPO in this domain and link it here, and I'm going to call this SMS firewall settings, provided I can type correctly. And click OK. All right, so here's my SMS firewall settings, and yep, I know I've got a link. I'm going to right click and edit this GPO. Okay, now here's what I want. For this, I am going to go to, I'm going to go to Policies, and under Computer Policies, Windows Settings. Remember, anything that relates to the computer has to go under Computer Settings. Anything that relates to users goes into User Settings. Security Settings. And I want, let me expand this out so we can see this better. I want the Windows Defender Firewall with Advanced Security. And specifically, let me click on that next one. I'm looking for inbound rules. Now, I have nothing here. And remember, if I open up a firewall on my local machine, I have a bunch of predefined rules. I don't have anything in here because I have not defined any settings that I want. So I'm going to right click on inbound rules and click new rule. This is going to let me to create one, and I can do this based on a program, a port, or, and this is what we're going to use here, predefined, because we have a bunch of predefined settings. We're going to click the down arrow, and we're going to look for file and print sharing. And from the file and print sharing, let me click next. I want to uncheck all of these because I don't need all of them set here. Not for SSMS. I might want them. If I scroll over, by the way, it's going to give me a little more detail about all of them as well. But for SSMS, the one that I want is going to be the file and print sharing SMB-in. Now, just because I have unchecked those does not mean I have turned them off. It just means I am not setting them in this policy. So I'm going to click next. I want to allow the connection, and there's my first rule. Now, I am going to repeat this for SSMS. I'm going to repeat this for multiple things. So right click, create a new rule. And again, it's going to be predefined. And the one I want this time is the net logon service. Right there is my net logon service. And again, the one that I need is the NPN. So I'm going to click next, allow the connection, give me a new rule. This one is going to be Windows Management Instrumentation. And I'm actually going to need a couple of them here. Windows Management Instrumentation, WMI. And the ones that I need here specifically are going to be DCOM in and WMI in. So I don't need this one right here. And then I can click and drag over and make sure that I've got the right one by resizing that. So I'm going to click next. finish, and this gives me my 4 rules. Now, what's going to happen is these rules now will be applied to anything in the domain once the policies are applied next. So if you remember, policies are applied at system startup, computer policies are applied at system startup, and I think it's 30 minutes after that. We can also force it. Before we do that, though, I'm going to come here with this one still selected. I can click on Settings. Yes, I want to add. It's generating an HTML report, which it won't view by default with Enhanced Security, Internet Explorer Enhanced Security turned on. So we allow those the site. And here under Computer Configuration, we have Policies, Windows Policies, Security Settings. I'm going to click Show, Windows Firewall Advanced Security, Inbound Rules, and this is going to show me all of my rules. So I know that I got everything saved. Now, I can either wait for 30 minutes for these settings to take effect, reboot all of the computers, or I can go to my command prompt. I'm just going to open up PowerShell as admin, but I'm not actually running a PowerShell command. What I'm running is GP update. Now, GP update should update all policies, but if there is a change in a policy, it'll update new policies, but if there's a change in the policy, it won't actually catch that. So what a lot of people will do is GP update /force. And this should update all new policies and all existing policies with any new or updated settings. And a lot of administrators will jump straight to this one. They won't do this one at all. Okay, policies have been updated successfully. I should now have my firewall rules that I set in my group policy, in this case for SMS, now active on this server.